Come on, geese. Come on, geese. Oh, hang on, there's all kinds of geezers getting them. Where are the geezer? Come on. Oh, hey! That is a geezer. I gotta admit, that is a real geezer.
That is a proper geezer.
That is a proper geezer, mate. Right, we can have one more. Satu lagi. Yeah. Oh, can you feel that? What do you reckon, mate? Is that a proper geezer?
That was a diamond geezer.
It's a diamond geezer, mate. Fucking hell. So, here we are today at Neasden High Street.
Surrounded by geezers.
No, not really. We're in Iceland, actually. And there are geezers all over the place. I wonder if there's any geezer birds around here. Got to be a few in there.
Yeah, they're all referred to as male, you know what I mean? There must be a geezer bird around here.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's masculine and feminine language, isn't it? So, are they geezers, all geezers geezers, or some geezers geezer birds? It's exactly these kinds of questions that we are here to answer. No, on a serious note, Iceland, a very fascinating country. Obviously got all this natural beauty in that, and it's also one of the few countries. Oh, the big geezers going off again in the distance. That is a real geezer, isn't it? Fucking hell, what a geezer.
What a geezer.
No, but anyway, we could all learn a little bit from Iceland and the way that it has dealt with the financial bandits that basically control the world, because this is one of the few countries that has actually taken action against that. It's kicked out the bandits, it's imprisoned the bandits. Seriously, I don't know a lot of details. I hope hopefully maybe able to speak to somebody who knows a bit more about this a bit later. But yeah, bankers and all those types have been sent to prison for the financial crimes that have been committed basically against Western civilization as we know it. And they've rewritten their sort of constitution and that, and it's been based on like real mandate from the people as well. So it really is, you know, a very unique country in many ways. But don't take my word for it. Obviously, do a bit of research on that yourself. It's hard to find research because this is yet another thing that we're not given information on in the West. Basically, we're just it's kind of, you know, when people actually break away from the system and change the way that they're living, we're not allowed to know about that. So you won't have seen it in the media really what happened with the economic revolution of Iceland, but the information is available if you wish to find it. Anything to add to that?
Yeah, I could murder a game of Destiny right now.
Nice. Alright, mate. Yeah, let's go get a Big Mac. No McDonald's in Iceland, by the way. That's always a good sign of a forward-thinking country with a bit of independence from the financial cartels of the world. No such thing as McDonald's in this country.
Meat soup.
Meat soup. I had a meat soup yesterday. Yeah, we like to try out our local dishes. So maybe go for a bit of langoustine, you know.
Let's get
a bit later. Oh, you want a meat soup? I ain't gonna have anything to eat, mate. I'm just gonna loiter out here and take pictures and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't eating, man. Fuck it. We could be back at the hotel at 4 or something, wouldn't we? That is fucking magnificent. If you open a dictionary and look up the word majestic, I reckon there'll be a picture of that. Fantastic. Look at that. Fucking hell. That is why we love it, mate. That is why we love travelling around and seeing all these things. Because every now and again you see something like this. Gulfas waterfall. I think it means Golden Falls. Gulfas, Golden Falls. It's absolutely incredible. The way I mean, the pictures tell it all really, don't they? Nothing that I can really add to this. Certainly nothing that's going to improve it, so I will shut the fuck up. Hallo.
Hi.
Vad heter du?
Jeg heter Svanur Gísli Þorkelsson.
That's easy for you to say.
That is. My name is Swan. They call me the Swan.
The Swan.
Yeah.
The Swan. What are we doing here today? What's the purpose of this tour you're taking us on?
Well, we are going on some of the locations where the Game of Thrones was shot.
Oh yeah?
The popular TV series.
What was your involvement in the show?
Well, I actually was an extra in one of the scenes.
Okay, great.
So I know a little bit about it.
Yeah, sure. And where are we exactly in Iceland?
Well, we are at a very important place for Iceland. This is Þingvellir, the old parliament site.
Yeah.
This is where the tectonic plates of North America and Eurasia are coming apart.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the rift right here in front of you.
Yeah.
And this is in the series, this site is used as the place where the Moon Palace is located. And
regarding this location, was it Þingvellir?
Þingvellir. Parliament Fields.
So it was where basically they invented the democratic process in this country, or even for the whole world?
Well,
is that fair?
They were adamant in not having a monarchy established in Iceland.
Yeah.
This was in the 10th century when Iceland was finally sort of fully settled, 25,000–30,000 people living here.
Yeah.
And they decided to form a proto-parliament.
Has there ever been any monarchy in Iceland?
Never. Well, we have been under monarchs.
Right.
We, for a while, we were under ruled by the Norwegian king, and then later by the Danish king. As a matter of fact, we didn't get our independence until 1944.
I see. Oh, right.
And then the whole nation gathered here, in fact, in order to establish the republic.
So this is an extremely important location in Icelandic history.
Historically, sentimentally, it is the most sacred place in the hearts and minds of Icelanders on earth.
Yeah.
Both in a secular and spiritual sense.
And I believe it was one of the first examples of this kind of democratic parliament in the world, wasn't it?
Well, it was a commonwealth of chieftains. They got together and formed sort of like a proto-democratic parliament.
Yeah.
It wasn't everybody, they weren't elected, they were chieftains, and that gave them the right to sit in this law-giving institution. But they also had a court of law attached to this, so it was quite an advanced idea for its time. Sure,
and it was the birth of the sort of notion of common law and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite a good, interesting contrast with more recent events in Iceland, I think, isn't there? Because you had some sort of economic revolution here, didn't you? Or where an economic crisis followed by a revision of the kind of democratic process here, didn't you?
The thing is that when we started out as an independent nation in 1944, we had a kind of set of principles that we wanted to follow.
Yeah.
One thing we knew for sure, we wanted to have an egalitarian society.
Yeah.
We had been all equally poor throughout the centuries, and although we were doing a little better now, we wanted to maintain this equality, maintain it.
Yeah.
And so this was to be done through giving everybody free education, Medicare, pension fund and so on. But we also knew we had to pull together. in order for the economy to survive. Nobody was rich enough to undertake any great enterprises.
Yeah.
So the state was involved in so many things. In the 1990s, government came into power that was partial to ultra-liberalism.
Right.
And they wanted to privatize everything that we had basically paid for with our blood, sweat and tears.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they did, and they did it very quickly. All of a sudden, in the early 2000s, Icelandic names started to appear on the Forbes list, the list of the richest people on earth.
Yeah.
And we sort of asked ourselves, how the hell did that happen? By 2008, the folly of it all became quite apparent because that the banks, newly privatized, declared themselves bankrupt.
Right.
Icelandic economy is based not on oil or gold, it is based on the commodities that we have to trade and the foreign currency that we have accumulated for those trade. And this currency was now gone. And still, the bankers that had squandered our money, they had the gall of coming back to the government and asking them for more.
Yeah, a bailout, what they say, yeah?
This the nation refused in a referendum, national referendum, twice in fact. So we chose rather to take out a massive loan from the International Monetary Fund and really start from scratch.
Right.
And this is what we have been doing for the past 4 years.
Because it is pretty like revolutionary around the world to do that. You know, in the context of the world, it's something unique that has happened here, isn't it?
It is. Iceland sort of has been hailed for refusing to pay the debts of those. Well, we identified at least 36 of them that have been mainly.
What happened to the bankers?
Well, many of them were actually indicted.
Yeah.
And some of them are still struggling to stay out of jail.
Right.
The Prime Minister recited over the whole thing. He was found guilty of negligence, indicted, and had to leave office along with his whole cabinet. And actually, none of them have entered seriously Icelandic politics again.
Yeah. So I think something we could do with all around the world, basically what's happened here. You know that you know this information's pretty much been suppressed by the media around the world. You only find these things out through alternative news sources on the internet and things like that.
I think that it is not.
You won't see it on the BBC.
Of governments around the world that have actually actively propped up their fallen financial institution to make that known.
Yeah.